We would like to ask Mr. Sean Kelly to come forward. Sean is representing tonight his late dad, Mike, who's being inducted in the builder category. Here's more on the late Mike Kelly.
One of the most futile tasks you could ever be assigned is to find someone to say a bad word about Mike Kelly. You'll be searching for a very long time.
A consummate gentleman. He was a special person. Character and I mean his character, like none other I've ever met. Never heard him swear in over 30 years of association with him. He had one favorite expression. He'd get upset and he'd say, "Suffering justice."
A combination of charm and vision made Mike Kelly one of the greatest builders of sport in Nova Scotia. In the 1960s, he and his good friend Fred McGilvery Sr. had a dream of bringing high-level junior hockey to Halifax.
So he and Dad got on the plane and went up to Montreal. Matter of fact, probably a train in those days. Went to Montreal, met with Sam Pollock, had a great conversation and convinced Sam that they should become an affiliate with Halifax and send us some players like Brian O'Byrne and a few others, Bruce Blythe, to form the core of our team back in those days. And Mike was the person that started all this up. He worked diligently at it, created a friendship and a relationship with the Montreal Canadiens that, as you know, lasted for many, many years into the future.
He worked for the toughest SOB in the world, and that was Sam Pollock. And I say that with all kindness. I like Sam, and Sam was good to me. But he was a taskmaster. And but Mike, he could just smile and take the bullets whenever they flew.
As you know, it's the first time a Canadian club has ever won the Calder Cup, and it's a tremendous thrill to everybody who's been associated with the club here.
In the old days, I remember it so well. The only reason I put 6,000 and 7,000 people into the Halifax Forum to watch junior hockey with 5,000 seats, my grandfather was the fire chief. So I'm sure the odd night they overlooked the crowd that was in that facility.
After the Junior Canadiens ended operations in the late 1960s, Mike Kelly played a huge role in bringing the Nova Scotia Voyageurs to Halifax. Many feel it would never have happened without him.
You go in his office, and I used to do that every night of a game, because in those days I was with the Dartmouth Free Press. And it would be just a steady stream of the who's who coming by, poking their head in, "Hi Mike, how are you tonight?" And these are all top businessmen, you know, people like Tiny Titus and that. They wouldn't have been there without Mike Kelly.
Mike was loved by everybody. He was a great family man, hardworking man, loved the game of hockey, always had a smile on his face. There was nothing he couldn't accomplish.
The spirit and sense of adventure allowed Mike Kelly to serve sport, and especially hockey in Nova Scotia, in a way that changed the direction of the game in this province forever.
All through his life, hockey was so important to him, and he was a centerpiece of hockey in the Maritimes. Mr. Hockey in the Maritimes.
I think he and Fred McGilvery and a few others, but more importantly, Fred and Mike, changed the face of hockey in a positive way, and it's gone forward ever since, and that will be a lasting contribution. I wish he could be here for this moment. I really do.
Mike Kelly, consummate gentleman, consummate builder, and our newest inductee to the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame.
Okay. Let's welcome to present the plaque, an inductee in the builder category, the son of Fred McGilvery Sr., Mr. Fred McGilvery. To present the pin, former CEO of the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame, a friend of Mike Kelly's and quarterback of the '73 St. Mary's Huskies national champion football team, Mr. Bill Robinson, ladies and gentlemen.
Billy, how are you? Good to see you. How are you? You're looking good. Thank you. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. There we go. That'd be great. Thank you. Right at me, please. Right here. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Kelly.
Bruce, it's all good.
Pretty good night, huh?
Unbelievable, over the top.
Yeah, listen, tell this, and as much of this as you want to tell. When I had the pleasure of calling you that day to tell you about this,
Yeah.
just tell me what went through your mind.
Probably two things. One was shock and denial because I really didn't think it was going to ever happen, honestly. I took a personal moment. I went out to the graveyard and where my parents are laid, and I sat there for a couple hours, and I just had a very quiet spiritual moment, just reflecting. And my father was a best friend to everyone, and that video was just beautiful.
What do you think drove his love for the game of hockey, and what do you remember about it?
One word: passion. Passion for Mike was to get up in the morning, shower, shave, get dressed, go to work, and be the best he could be. If it was in the hockey business, he wanted to put people in that rink every night at the Halifax Forum. We didn't have social media. We didn't have computers back then. We didn't have cell phones, okay? But he did a hell of a job.
A lot of people in that position aren't as universally popular as your dad was. How do you pull off being a businessman and a promoter and be loved by everybody?
Well, his people skills were second to none, okay? And I just really felt that he said honesty is the best policy, and make people feel special. I mean, that's it, okay? So for him, whether it was like with Johnson & Johnson, whether it was with the hockey business or the Liquor Commission later on in life, he was just a joy to be around. And he was the type of guy that just made everybody feel special. And I don't know, he gave to so many people, and he never looked for anything in return. So he was my hero, and he was the hero to a lot of people in HRM, and in Nova Scotia for that matter.
You know what? You can make a direct line from the Halifax Junior Canadians to the Halifax Mooseheads today.
Yes.
And you can make a real good argument that Mooseheads would not be here today were it not for what he did back in the 60s. As a builder and as how he would like to be remembered, what can you say?
He surrounded himself with some great people. Fred McGilvery Sr., Sam Pollock, mentioned in the video, Al McNeil. They were very tough men. They were extremely demanding. So he could be getting calls at 6 o'clock in the morning to go fix something, okay? Before, most people get up in the morning. He was putting in 18, 20 hours a day. But that was not work to Mike. Mike loved sports. He loved hockey. So for him, it was just, he just wanted to be the very best he could be, if I can say that.
Very definition of a builder and a worthy inductee. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.